Let's talk about grades, because PFF posted them. So, going ahead and getting right into this, pass blocking grades from last night. Mims was actually our best pass blocker at 81.3. So, shout out to Mims for getting the job done there. In case you're wondering where our boy Lucas Patrick is, he actually does come in at a 72.5, which is not bad. That's actually not that bad of a grade, obviously. We saw the clip earlier. At the end of the day, doesn't look that bad, but yet very, very questionable earlier. Very questionable gameplay, but for the most part, he did grade out as 72.5, which is not atrocious. Orlando Brown Jr. is an 81. We have Teddy K came in as an 80.8. Dylan Fairchild, a 76.5. Coker, 76.3. And our worst lineman was Andrew Rayam, who comes in at his 23.2. Taj Brooks in the pass blocking game, 47. Yeah, not looking good. Jalen Rivers at left tackle was a 50.3. He did play a couple of different positions, including right guard, actually. But it looks like they did line him up at left tackle enough for him to hit that left tackle threshold. Yeah, across the board, starters look decent according to grades, but again, story says otherwise watching the game. Let's go down to run blocking, because that's something we could not do last night was run block. And our best run blocking defender last night was Jalen Rivers at a 73.3. Fairchild was number 2. By the way, just shout out to Fairchild, having himself a fantastic season so far, preseason so far. Amarius Mims was number 4. Lucas Patrick was number 5. Orlando Brown was number 8. Going down this list, Teddy K was 26th on our run blocking grades. Our worst run blocker is actually Drew Sample, of all people, which interesting because usually he's actually really good at blocking. Now, a lot of these guys like the 60s, you see right here, Kendall Milton, Desmond Ridder, obviously Joe Burrow, Jake Browning. I don't know why they always list these guys in here. Like, they're not blockers. Well, Kendall Milton maybe, but not the other guys. I always think it's stupid when they list them in here because they don't ever block. Like, they're quarterbacks. And 2 of the quarterbacks, yeah, it just doesn't make sense. But with that being said, let's take a look at defense. So, we have run defense last night. Nate Brooks led the team with an 86.9. Moma Jigmita, number 2. Shaka Hayward, number 3. Our worst run defender last night was Demetrius Knight Jr. and then Jordan Battle. TJ Slayton, Poison Ivy, and Shamar Stewart all came in as the top 5 worst run defenders last night, grade-wise. It felt like last night, I said it before, defense started off the game looking really, really bad. But as the game went on, they got a lot better. And they started looking a lot better. Our backups definitely looked really, really good. Coverage grades. Actually, no, let's look at pass rushing. Pass rushing last night, McKinley Jackson led this charge. Cam Sample was actually considered the worst, but he only had 6 snaps total. Taven Bryan was the second worst, who kind of crazy because the first game he actually looked really good. Hunter Cross the third was 62.4. Raymond Johnson was number 2. Shamar was number 3 in the pass rushing department. Joe Gile Harris was number 5. And so on and so on. Joseph Sy did come in at number 9, tied with Logan Wilson. But let's now go to coverage. Coverage grades. Best coverage grade from last night was an 80.4, and that was none other than our boy, Barrett Carter, who also had the interception last night. Josh Newton came in as the worst coverage grade. Demetrius Knight Jr. definitely did not grade well last night. I'll say it like that. Number 2 was Lance Robinson. Number 3 was Lux. Number 4 was Poison Ivy. Tyson Anderson. Nate Brooks. We have Marco Wilson, Oren Burks, and then Momad Jamita. Logan Wilson came in at a 60, but he only had 2 coverage snaps, so I guess it doesn't really matter. Shaka Hayward, Joseph Asai, Jordan Battle. Yeah, Jordan Battle definitely did not have the greatest night last night. Other than that, let's go to receiving, because obviously Mitchell Tinsley, let's be honest, is going to be very much near the top of the list for receivers last night, as he had himself a breakout preseason game. Yoshi was number 2. And again, looking down this list here, Tanner Hudson had 6 targets and 3 receptions last night. But yeah, just 5 targets, 5 catches for Tinsley. When you put up numbers like that and 2 touchdowns, you're going to have yourself a phenomenal game. That's just kind of how that works. Across the board, listen, last night, there is stuff I think we still need to work on. I mean, it's definitely stuff we still need to work on. But we got the general gist that we needed to get. We're going to have to score 60 a game. And I think that's really what it comes down to. The general gist of last night was we're going to have to score 60. Now, Mitchell Tinsley actually went ahead and had the best offensive grade of any player from last night on the Bengals. Jake Browning was number 2, because, yes, Jake Browning actually had himself a freaking good game. The worst offensive player was our receiver Mays, and then it was Drew Sample. Let's see, worst and best defensive player. Our best defense player last night was Momad Jamita, Nate Brooks, and Tyson Anderson. Our worst defensive players was Josh Newton, Jordan Battle, and Demetrius Knight Jr. Yeah. Grades do not tell the whole story. At the end of the day, Demetrius Knight Jr. had 7 total snaps last night. So, out of 7 snaps, if you mess up like 3 of them, you're going to look atrocious. But if you have 60 snaps and you mess up 3 of them, well, you're not going to look as bad. So, just remember, grades, while yes, it's important. Yes, it gives us a general gist of what happened. They don't always tell the full story, because Lucas Patrick did not grade out awful, but he didn't look good. So you guys, next one.